Hey, welcome to Rosie's 90s Hour. Hope you're having a good morning. It's the walk from our record collection. Hey, that was Oasis with Some Might Say from 1995. Now, coming up this hour, we've got some Louise, some Will Smith, a little bit of Warren G and some Spice Girls, but I'm going to be talking about Comic Relief last night. How can I not? That's coming up a little bit later after Alicia's Attic. Hey, that was Annie Lennox and Little Bird from 1993. Now, Comic Relief last night. I can't believe they raised £74,360,270. That was a record in 26 years of Comic Relief. But I thought a 90s song, which was a Comic Relief song, it's one of my favourites personally. This is the Spice Girls. That was from 1997. Now, Comic Relief sketches are always funny, especially with James Corden, but I've never laughed as much as I did last night when they did Fake That. If you didn't see it, then you've got to put it on YouTube. You had James Corden as Gary, John Bishop as Robbie, Alan Carr as Mark, David Williams as Howard, and Catherine Tate as Jason, who was absolutely hilarious. And they've done this next video absolutely perfectly. This is Pray. That was George Michael and Outside. And now there's two sketches from Comic Relief, all available on iTunes for Comic Relief, so you download them if you can. They're hilarious. Right, this next track I've been trying to avoid playing for the last few weeks, but since he's been on Dancing on Ice, I've been chomping at the bit to play it, but it's got the better of me now. It has to be done. I cannot believe that song is 21 years old. Now, hands up who doesn't know all the lyrics to that song. Shame on you. This is Louise. Yeah, that was Oasis from 1995. Now, I've just read that today's supposed to be Rapture Day, or the end of the world, according to Harold Camping, who's 89. So at 6 p.m. tonight we're supposed to have a major earthquake, so hold on to your seats. Or get under a table, or you're supposed to stand in the doorway, aren't you, or something? Anyway, the way I'm feeling today, I'm sure I'll be in bed by then anyway. Here's the Bloodhound Gang. With one-hit wonders through the years, I've done my homework, but some of them you think, oh, thank God they only done one, and why did they bother? But others you think they're little works of genius and wonder why they didn't do any more. But that's how they work, I guess. They make their mark and then they disappear but are never forgotten. But I'm going to start with 1990. This is Delight and Grooves in the Heart. Now, moving on to 1991. This guy, we went down the Guildhall Square last January in Portsmouth, and it was the world record for doing most people in one place doing air guitar, and it was Chesney Hawkes that performed this song. We failed miserably, by the way, but the song's still like a guilty pleasure, I guess. Here we go. Air guitar time. Wow, that was Chesney Hawkes from 1991. That was scarily the year I left school, which makes me feel really old, actually. But if you weren't dancing to that or singing along, I bet you wanted to, really, didn't you? That was KWS from 92. Another song from 92. Well, I was debating whether to play this one, whether I should subject you to it. But he did start off a massive line dancing craze in the early 90s. Yes, it was all down to Billy Ray Cyrus. He's actually Hannah Montana's father, on-screen father, as well as Miley Cyrus's real father. But, yeah, it was all his fault. Oh, don't worry, I'll only play a little bit. Anyway, moving on to 93. That was Robin S. Actually, that was released a couple of years ago. I think it got to number 1. Yeah, so it makes you feel really old as well. That was 1993. Now, on to 94. 94 was definitely the year for one-hit wonders, because there was so many. But I picked 3, because I couldn't decide which ones to put in. 2 of them are questionable, but the third one's pretty credible. The first one is the Rednecks with Cotton Eye Joe, and it was just a Mickey take of the line dancing craze, which was started a couple of years ago by Billy Ray Cyrus. And the second one is a Eurotrash song. I mean, how can I not? It's Eurovision tonight, and they brought it all back from Spain, and we were all doing the dance routines. So here goes. Now, I know you all know the dance routine to that song. Don't tell me you don't. Don't lie. Anyway, that was my 2 cheesy songs from 94. So you've done air quotes there. And I said there was one more credible song. Now, this is from a film called Reality Bites. It was from 1994. It starred Winona Ryder and a very, very young Ben Stiller. I think it might have been one of his very first films. But this is Big Mountain and Baby I Love Your Way. Yep, that was 1994. So we've reached the halfway mark of my countdown of the 90s at Rosie's 90s Hour. So, 1995. First one, I've got two from 95. One needs no introduction, really, because it was not only a hit in 95, it has become a part of our lives for almost the last 20 years. And the second is about an Audrey Hepburn film. So, here they go. Right, 96 brought us Peter Andre and Mysterious Girl, but it wasn't actually a one-hit wonder. He did have other hits at the time, even though they've disappeared into the ether somewhere. But when it comes to the summer of 96, this song comes to mind.
My lovely, where do you go?
That was No Mercy from 1996 with Where Do You Go? Now, moving on to 97. I feel all summery now after that one. Anyway, 97. I'm going to be on to the summer of 97 because this year stands out in particular for me for a multitude of reasons. One being the fact that my son was born this year. But this song not only is a football anthem, but it reminds me of being heavily pregnant, sat in the back of a taxi that was speeding down a road with a lot of big speed bumps, and the windows were wound down, and this song was blaring out. And whenever I hear it, it takes me straight back to that taxi. You can imagine. No, I can't listen to any more of it, I'm afraid. Right, I'm going to leave you now with the final song of 1999, One Hit Wonders. Thanks for everyone for listening. And I've enjoyed my countdown of One Hit Wonders of the 90s on Rosie's 90s Hour. But this is a little story about a guy who lives in a blue world. It's Eiffel 65.
Yo, listen up, here's the story about a little guy that lives in a blue world.
It's Rosie's 90s Hour again. Hope you had a good Easter. Right, this week I'm going to do a wedding special because obviously it was the royal wedding. How could you not have watched that? I've gone through the top 100 wedding songs. There's been loads of DJs got together and made like a top 100 list. So I've got the best of the top 20. It's not just all the love songs, it's the songs that got everyone up on the dance floor. But I'm going to dedicate my first song to the two princes because they just looked amazing. Harry and William, Diana would have been so proud. So here we go. Now, if you're going to have some serious dad dancing on the dance floor, then this next song has got to be the best one. Same year as Vanilla Ice and The Bartman by Bart Simpson. It introduced harem pants to the world and some funky dance moves. Wonder if Prince Charles was dancing to this one.
You can't touch this.
Now, this next one is Runaway Train by Soul Asylum. The video, I remember, had loads of missing children in it, and it was just a big plea from the band, and they found loads of children in the UK and America and around the world. So, and this the video is definitely worth a watch on YouTube. Hey, and welcome to my 90s Hour, an Irish 90s Hour. This is Rose in honour of St Patrick's Day. Hope you're having a good morning, or should I say top of the morning to you? No, I promise not to attempt an Irish accent for the next 60 minutes. Anyway, coming up is everything Irish, Irish bands and singers mixed with a bit of Irish trivia. I'd like to dedicate this show to my Irish princess, Melanie Gamble. This is Ash from 1995.
Do you remember a time when you were gone from Mars?
Now, this next song is a band from America. They're American-Irish, and I thought, does that count? Until I read that over 40% of the United States presidents were Irish ancestors, and Eamon de Valera was the first president of the Irish Republic. He was born in Manhattan. It's said that there are more Americans of Irish descent in America than there are Irishmen in Ireland. Americans celebrate St Patrick's Day with such fun and wild abandon that many people in Ireland tune into their televisions to watch celebrations in the US. That was enough criteria for me. Hey, that was one from 1992 by U2. That goes to the beginning of the decade. Now I'm going to go right to the other end of the decade to 1998 with The Sweetest Thing. Now I've got a question though. Do you know which boy band appeared in the video to this song? The answer will be the band that follows. There you go. Yes, it was Boyzone, if anyone got it right. Now talking of Boyzone, Comic Relief's on Friday, and although the 90s Comic Relief songs were pretty dire, I think this was the best of a bad bunch, to be honest.
When the going gets tough.
Women all over,
Yes, that was Westlife. Now, I had to do it. Now, did you know the White House in Washington was designed by an Irish architect? But you didn't know that one. Anyway, I'm going to leave you now. It's been great spending an hour with you, but I'm going to leave you with one of the hits of the right at the beginning of the 90s. This was released right at the beginning of 1990. This is one of the biggest hits of the decade with a powerful video to match. This is Sinead O'Connor. And that's it. I'm done. I need to go and lay down. But before I do, I'm going to say I have had a fantastic 3 years. I've met some amazing people, some interesting ones, but some amazing people mostly. And if whatever you do in the future, if it's with half the enthusiasm I've seen since I've been at uni, it's going to be bloody amazing. Adios.
This is Pure FM.